This conference will now be recorded.
Right, let's start today's session. In the last session, we were discuss about types of variables in Python functions. And today's session, I'm going to discuss about types of arguments. Types of arguments. So let us consider this function, add function here. So a and b are parameters or arguments. And when we call this add function, we need to supply the values 10 and 20. And here a, b are formal arguments. 10, 20 are actual arguments here. So that means the arguments which are accepting the values, these are formal arguments, and 10, 20 are what actually actual arguments only. When we supply the values to the parameters, these are actual arguments. We can say that 10, 20 are actual arguments. If we don't pass 10, 20 values to this add function, then add function will not work. Okay, so these are the actual arguments are. So there are four types of actual arguments are there. Four types of actual arguments are there, sir, in Python functions. What are the four types of actual arguments? One is positional arguments. Next one is keyword arguments. Next, default arguments, default arguments. Next, variable length arguments. We can say that. Positional arguments, keyword arguments, default arguments, variable length arguments. These are the four types of actual arguments are available in Python functions. Whenever you are working with Python functions, we can able to work with like positional arguments, keyword arguments, default arguments, variable length arguments. So we'll discuss what is positional arguments and keyword, default, variable length, all we will discuss one by one. First, we'll look into positional arguments are here. Positional arguments means what? The arguments which are passed to a function in correct positional order. Okay. The arguments which are passed to a function, the arguments which are passed to a function in correct positional order is called positional argument. Is called positional arguments. If we change the order or position, if we change the order or position, then result may change. Result may change. If we increase or decrease arguments, then we will get error. Then we will get what's our error. If we change the order or position, then result may change. If we increase or decrease the arguments, number of arguments, if we decrease or increase the number of arguments, then we will get errors. So while working with positional arguments, compulsory your function, how many arguments are there, that many values you should supply. If you supply less values or more values, what your function is expecting, then obviously it will give error. So if you change the position or order of the arguments, then result may be changed, sir. If you change the order or position, then result may change. Okay, yes. Let's see here how to work with positional arguments practical implementation. So this is the program. Test 21 is there. Let's go for other program now. Test 22. So let's go for test 22 here. Now let us consider this function. Any function you can take. Suppose I'm taking subtraction. And now I'm trying to print this result. Result is a minus b I'm taking. So according to my requirement, the position of the arguments are 20 and 10 I want to pass, because a value 20 and b value 10 I want to pass. So I'm supplying here a value 20, b value 10. Fine, sir. So now you can see a value 20, b value 10 means result is what? Actually 20 minus 10, 10 only. It's a simple process. But whenever the moment when we change the arguments like position, now you can see position of the arguments I'm changing. Subtract of 10 comma 20. Order is changed. A value 10 I'm supplying, B value 20 I'm supplying. Result may change or not? Yes. Result is going to be changed. So look at this, result is changing. Yes, minus 10 is there. In case if I try to pass the values like only one value, the function is expecting two arguments, but you are supplying only one argument value like A, so obviously you'll get error. Subtract function missing required positional argument, that is B only. So we are supplying 10 value to the A positional arguments, but now we need to supply 20 value also, that is B positional arguments, but we are not supplying that B positional argument value. So obviously it will give server error, because how many number of values are there in function, how many number of arguments are there in function, that many argument values we have to supply. Okay, if you don't supply it will give error. So B is expecting now even more number of argument values also. If you supply it will give error. Subtract function takes two positional arguments, but you are giving what? Three given only. So this is example of positional arguments. It's very simple. That means what I am saying, what the order you want to call a function, you can call the function by passing the values. Don't change the order, then result might be changed. And if you increase or decrease number of arguments of parameter values, then you will get errors. This is called positional arguments. Next I am talking about keyword arguments. Keyword arguments means, don't think so like Python keywords. Okay, we will have Python keywords, no, like if keyword, def keyword, elif keyword, so many keywords are there. That keywords I'm not talking. So why keyword arguments means, here every function can have the parameters, no, that parameters or arguments also called as keywords of that function. But it doesn't mean that Python keywords here. Python keywords separate, but even every function also can have that parameters or arguments. That arguments also called as keywords of that particular function I'm saying. So that's what here keywords arguments, I can say that. Now you can see keyword arguments. Keyword arguments, these are. Keyword arguments means what? The arguments which are passed to a function. The arguments which are passed to a function. Arguments which are passed to a function by using keyword or parameters name. Parameter means, yeah, argument value. Parameter name is called keyword arguments. Is called keyword arguments. The arguments which are passed to a function by using keyword or parameter name is called what arguments are? Keyword arguments, we can say that. Fine. But while working with keyword arguments, while working with while working with keyword arguments, while working with keyword arguments, the order or position, the order or position is not important. not important, but keywords are important. But keywords are important, sir. Order is not important, but what important means keywords are important. Arguments which are passed to a function by using keyword or parameter name is called keyword arguments. While working with keyword arguments, the order of the arguments or position of the arguments is not important. Okay, okay, important, but keywords are important. Keywords are must and should you have to use, but order is not important, sir. Even though if you change the order, result might not be changed. It will not change. I'll show you like keyword. So let's see this keyword arguments, how we can work. We have to use this function, like any function you can use. F1 name I'm using. This function is having parameters like name and message. I can say hello. And what I'm trying to do, first I'm taking name argument. Next I'm taking message. These are keywords of my F1 function. These are keywords also. Yes, name and message are keywords also. Hello, name and message. And I'll call the function here. Okay. So name equals to I'm taking Durga. Message equals to I'm taking like good morning. So this is keyword name or parameter name. This is keyword name or parameter name. This function is having two keywords like parameters name and message. The arguments which are passed to a function by using keyword or parameter name is called keyword arguments. Here keywords are name and message. These are the parameters of F1 function. These parameters also called as keywords of F1 function. Now let's see this def of F1 name comma message I'm using. Let's see here. Hello Durga, good morning is saying. Hello Durga, good morning. Fine. Let me change the order, sir. Now as I said that while working with keyword arguments, order is not compulsory, sir. First I'm taking message I'm passing good morning, and then second I'm taking what actually name. Yes, now look at this good morning and name. If you give just Durga and good morning, no, that is I'll come to point. Okay, just a moment. I understand that one argument, one positional argument, one keyword argument, that's combination also I'll work. You can see this. So now you can see the order is changing, no? Yeah. So the order, even though we are changing the order name and message and name, but result is same or not? Result is changing? No changing result. Hello Durga, good morning, and hello Durga, good morning. Fine. So these are keyword arguments, sir. As I said that in keyword arguments, okay. So order is not important, but keywords are important. Keywords means name and message. Even we are changing the order, but we are getting same output. Now next I'm going to include again positional arguments also in this example, so that you will get difference between positional arguments and keyword arguments. So positional arguments I'm passing. The position is Durga, first position. Next, second position is good morning, like this. So perfect. It is also fine, sir, because position is correct. Hello Durga, good morning. Third time it's coming. Now once I try to change the position, now you can see here good morning, and what I can say Durga. Let's see this here. Order or position is changing or not? Yes. First good morning is there, then Durga is later. So result also changing. Hello, good morning, Durga is coming clearly. So what is the difference here? Positional arguments means compulsory what the order you want, you can maintain the order. If we change the order or position, result will change. Keyword arguments means Order is not important, but keywords are important. Look at this in the keyword arguments. I'm using keywords like name and message, first name and message, later message and name, but order is changing or not? Yes, order is changing, but result also same, sir. No problem. Sir, can we work with one positional, one keyword arguments? Yes, it's possible. Look at this. We can also work with one keyword and one positional arguments. We can also work with one positional and one keyword arguments. One positional and one keyword arguments. But make sure that make sure that first we have to mention what, sir? First we have to mention, okay, so positional arguments only. First we have to mention positional arguments. Then after keyword arguments. This is compulsory. Then after keyword arguments. Here we can also work with one positional and one keyword arguments, both combination. But make sure that first we have to mention positional arguments, then after keyword arguments. So let's see this. First I am taking what's our positional arguments. I am taking Durga. Correct. And keyword argument I am taking message equals to good morning. Correct. Because we mentioned one positional argument, one keyword arguments, combination result is perfect. So we got the result. No issue here. Hello Durga, good morning again. Okay, yeah. What happens are if I try to pass first only keyword arguments like name equals to Durga, keyword is what we can say name, and then positional arguments I'm passing now good morning. You will see, you will get error or not. I'm placing mouse pointer on it. So it says clearly positional arguments after keyword arguments. Okay, here positional arguments are available after keyword arguments. Okay, but actually reality what actually first we have to mention positional argument, then after keyword arguments. No. Yes, let's see this forcefully when we run. You will get clear idea. Positional argument follows keyword argument. Syntax error. This is positional arguments. Yes, it's following keyword arguments. Correct. But here, keyword argument following positional argument. That's not correct. So we can also work with one positional, one keyword arguments, but make sure that first we have to mention positional argument, then after keyword arguments only. Okay, then after keyword arguments. So first positional arguments first, then after keyword arguments. So this line will not work, sir. This is syntactical error. According to Python syntax, it's wrong. Always positional argument you have to first mention, then after keyword arguments you have to mention, sir. So this is exactly working with positional arguments as well as keyword arguments. Fine. Next, I'm talking about default arguments. Other type of arguments are there, default arguments like this. So generally, tell me one thing. If I have a function with one parameter or two parameters, like any number of parameters, the moment when I call the function is going to expect some values from us because the function is having parameter. We need to supply that parameter values like input values to the function. Then only function will work properly. Otherwise, function will not work, right? So sometimes what we need to do, even though if I forgot to pass the values to the function or if I don't want to send values to the function, then still function need to work by taking its default value. In that context, we can declare a function with a default argument. So in the normal case, once function is declared with parameters like input values, okay, while calling the function, compulsory we should pass the values or input values to the function. If we don't supply any values, then it will give error. But we will go for default arguments now. Default arguments means whenever you don't pass any value to the function, then your function still work by taking its default value only, default argument value. So in that context, we can go for default arguments clearly. I'll explain directly programming so that you'll understand here. So let's flip to program and let's change the code. Test 22. So 22 already there. See, right now I'm creating a function called f1 function. This function is having a parameter like course. I'm taking print course is. So course only I'm printing. And while calling the f1 function, we need to supply the value of course. If we don't pass any value for this course, then what will happen? You can see this when we run this. So we got this. Here you can see error because f1 function is expecting some input values from you, but you are not supplying the value for this course. Type error is there. F1 function missing one required positional argument, that is called course. F1 function missing one required positional argument, that is what's our course only. So that's not correct. Okay. So we have to supply the course value. For example, I'm supplying the course value C language. Now course is C language. Perfect. But sir, sometimes what I need to do, if I don't want to supply any value also, my function should respond for me correct by taking its default value. In that case, we can declare a function with the default arguments. Now you can see if I don't supply any value for this, still my function should work properly. In that context, we can go for default course like Python. So even in the line number 6, when we call this function f1 without passing any value also, then still function will work, sir, by taking its default value like Python. So user can call the function. How many number of times he will call the function without passing any value, then by default the course will be assigned for him. What course, sir? Python only. Now you can see in the line number 6, line number 7, we are not supplying any input values to this function f1. By default it's taking course is what actually Python only. So Python, if we supply the value, then your supplied value only will be considered as a course only. C language is course, Java is course. Okay, yes. So this is what default arguments. But here we can also work with one default, one non-default arguments also. Both combination we can see this. I'm giving comment. We can also work with one default, default, one default, and one non-default arguments. One non-default arguments. You can also work with one default, one non-default arguments, but first we have to mention okay, first we have to mention non-default argument, only. Okay, this is here only we are working with this function f1. Default arguments are course equals to Python. So even when we don't pass any value to this f1 function also, it takes by default course Python value and it will work function correctly. If we supply the course value, it's okay. Now course value f1 of C language course. Okay, fine. In the second case, third case, course name is default course is Python. But sometimes user wants to work with a non-default argument as well as default argument both. But the moment when we supply non-default argument like name, I'm supplying name because this name I want to use here so and so person name course is like this. For example, name if I supply Sai course is C language, or if I supply Mohan course is Python, like that I want to say. But look at this, first what we supplied, default argument we supplied. Later we supplied what? Non-default argument, but that's not correct. Always when we are working with combination like one default argument, one non-default argument, always non-default argument should be first, sir. So when we place mouse pointer on it, you can see non-default parameter follows default parameter. It is saying clearly. Even when we execute this forcefully, you will get same syntax error. Non-default argument follows default argument. Means first non-default argument we have to mention, and later default argument we have to mention. Def is a keyword defining the f1 is a function name comma course. So here name is first. So this is compulsory, we have to supply, sir. So I'm supplying the name. Person name is just Sai is the name. Sai course is Python. No, sorry, Sai course is C language. And I'm trying to supply this Mohan. Mohan course is Python because Mohan is not supplying any course of his language. Like now Durga is there. Durga course is Python. And now you can see here just I'm taking Kiran. Kiran course is what actually? Java. So this is the way to work with the default and non-default argument. Name, person name is compulsory how to supply, but course name is optional. Some persons didn't supply their course, Mohan and Durga. By default, the two persons will get what is the course? Python only. Sai course is C language, and Mohan course is Python, and Durga course is Python, and Kiran course is Java only. Fine. So this is what default arguments. We can declare sometimes default arguments in Python functions because when user not supply any value also, by default we will take the value and we will work in it, work with that. So this is default argument and with combination of non-default arguments. So in the positional arguments and keyword arguments, both we can use simultaneously, but make sure that first positional argument you have to mention, then later keyword arguments. In the default arguments and non-default arguments, first we have to mention non-default arguments, then after keyword arguments. So that order is important. Otherwise Python functions will not work properly as we expect. Then last arguments are there like variable length arguments. What is variable length arguments? I'll give you clarity. Variable length means not fixed length. Okay, that is for sure. One point is confirmed. Variable length means what, sir? Not fixed length. Means user can pass any number of values according to their requirement, including zero number. Normally, when we have a function with the two parameters, at the time of calling that function, how many values you should supply to that function? Two values only. Because function is having two parameters, we should supply two values only. But sometimes I want to declare the function with the variable length arguments. That means the functions can able to take any number of input values from the caller place, like including zero number, 1, 2, 3, and n number of values we can supply. So in that context, what we can say? Variable length arguments. So look at here, sometimes we need to pass number of values to the function, including zero number, means no values, including zero number. Then we use variable length arguments. Variable length arguments, we can say that. Then we use variable length arguments. Okay, yes. Sometimes we need to pass number of values to the function including zero number, then we use variable length arguments. But how to define a function with variable length arguments concept means there is clearly. Normally here we can define a function like f1 of n means what? Variable, like parameter. But how to define this f1 function with number of values accepting from the user side, like variable length arguments means always the variable length arguments preceded with asterisk symbol. Asterisk means here you can see this is the star n asterisk n. So this function now can able to accept any number of values from the user including zero number. Any number of values from the user including what? Zero number. If the star is there. If there is no star, then this function is going to accept what? Only one value. At the time of calling this function, user need to pass only one value. If I use star, then this function is ready to accept how many values? Any number of values, including zero number. Okay, including zero number actually. Let's see this how. Practically, I'll show you. Let's flip to test 24. Now let us consider this function f1. Right now this f1 function is having one value is accepting. The moment when we call this function f1, so I'm not supplying any value, obviously you will get error. It's a common, no? Obviously you will get error. Look at this f1 function we declare with n parameter, one parameter that is. So whenever the moment when we call f1 function, it is saying that f1 missing one required positional argument like n. So we didn't pass any value for the n, that's what it's giving error. Suppose f1 of 10 I'm taking now, you can say f1 of 10. So it's correct because 10 value directly goes to where? N. Print n is there. Now we are printing n variable like value here it is coming. So this is the case. Okay. So this is working sir fine. But sometimes what I need to do, I need to pass two values. Or sometimes I need to pass three values. Sometimes I need to pass four values. Like n number of values I need to pass. In that context, what I can do, look at this. I'm not passing any value. Sometimes I'm passing only one value. Sometimes I can pass two values. I can pass three values, four values like this. N number of values I can pass like 10. Even floating point values also possible, not a problem. Okay, look at this. Just I'm giving 3.7, 3.7 of 98, 67 like this. Different values I'm passing. Still this function will not work sir because this function is declared with only one parameter. Only this function will work in this case, but remaining all the cases will not work. Okay, so once the moment when I define this function with star n, now we can see this function ready to accept any number of values. How the way you are calling same way we got the result or not, you can observe here. So I'm calling the function with no values, here no values. I'm calling the function with one value, one value. I'm calling with function two values, two values. But what is the default storage of variable length arguments means tuple. What is that? Tuple. In interview they might ask what is the storage format or how the values will stored in the variable length arguments, which collection format. Tuple collections are here by default. When we pass number of values, all the number of values will go to this variable length argument n, then it will store in the collection format. What collection? Tuple collection only. But sir, giving the name of this variable length argument star n is compulsory? No sir, any name you can take, but star is required. That means asterisk is required. But most of the articles you will able to see this one only, star args. Star args. Star args means it's a variable length arguments only. Whenever we define a function with the star args, that means that function can accept a number of argument values from the calling place. Any number of argument values like 0 number, 1 number, 2 number, 3 number, 4 numbers, n numbers. So star args name is not compulsory sir. Any name you can take, star x, star args, okay, star y, star k, star your name, any name. But me generally most of the articles you will find star args is there. Star args means what? Variable length arguments generally. It will accept number of values to the number of values from the calling place only. So generally in which case we will go for this concept means I will explain you. Okay. So in which case we will go for this concept. Just a moment. I'm writing one quick example so that you will get clarity. See this function I'm giving this function a and b adding two numbers, just adding two numbers. Result is a plus b. I'm doing, sir. Okay, fine. A plus b result. So this function is created for only adding how many numbers are? Two numbers. Because add function I defined with two parameters a and b. Result is a plus b, some value a 10 and 20. But sir, my requirement is what, I want to call the same function for adding three numbers. I want to call the same function for adding five numbers. I can pass any type of values like this. Okay, just a moment. I want to pass any number of values like this. Any number of values. Is this possible now? No. Obviously, it will not possible, sir, because this function will give error. So it will work only in this case, adding two numbers. Later, user wants to add three numbers, four numbers, five numbers, n numbers. So in that context, what we have to use? Variable length arguments clearly. Okay. Someone is asking question. Who is that? Okay, fine. Tell me.
Uh, I have a question about the function. How many function you can call, like n number of function when you define the function? Like you have added four
I
function, right? You have called four function now, so you can
I
call n number
see.
of function in here.
Yeah, just a moment. I'm correcting you. I define only one function. I'm calling same function number of times. Yes, we can possible.
Okay,
That is advantage only function. I said function one time you can create and many times you can reuse it by calling the function name through.
okay, thank you.
Yeah. So I'm calling this function. Function will work only these two values adding purpose only it will work. But I want to make this function to work all number of values including 3, 4, 5, any number of values I'm passing are adding purpose. In that context, we can declare a function what? Variable length arguments here, star args. Okay. Now this logic is not working fine. So instead of this logic, what I'm trying to, I'll write here. So this function will work fine, sir. Now there is no error. You can see. Is there any error? No. I'll write the logic in the past. Okay. So this star arcs will allow any type of values, any number of values, two values, three values, four values, five values like this. So as I said that by default collection of star arcs is what? Tuple collection. The moment when we call this add function 1020, the 1020 values goes to args only. That is tuple collection. In that tuple collection, we have to iterate one by one. So some value I want to store 0 for I in args. Args is a tuple. Then s equal to s plus I. Finally, I'm printing outside the for loop sum is yes. This is correct. Okay. Yes, I'm coming to that. That question next immediately. Star arcs and star KW arcs. In most of the interviews, they will ask what is star arcs and star KW arcs. I'm coming. Next time explaining this only. Just a moment, 2 minutes. So now coming to this program, add function I define with star arcs. So this means this function is accepting variable length arguments. Variable length means not fixed length, any length. So 10, 20, 2, 3, 4, 3 number of values, 4 number of values, 5 number of values like this. But the moment when we call this function with the number of values, directly this 10, 20 values will go and stored into our args. This is what type of collection? Tuple type of collection. In this tuple, I am iterating one by one values. So my result value, some value should stored into 0. For I in args means I value, first value. It will come from args like tuple collection, 10 value. And s is equal to 0. 0 plus I value how much? 10 only from this tuple collection. 10 plus 0, 10 only. 10 will be assigned to s only. S is holding 10. Next iteration for I in args. Next iteration 20 value I. Args value is args means here this is collection. S value already 10 is there. 10 plus 20 30. 30 is the sum of the two numbers. Let's keep the breakpoint and see this. First let's run this. You will get output or not. You can see 10 plus 20 30. Next value 9. 4 plus 3 plus 2 9. And next one is 2 3 4 5 6. Now 20 sum. Then third one 10.2 plus 45.6 plus 67.8 plus 98 34 255.6. So this function through we can able to add any number of values or not. Yes. So no need to create a separate function for adding three numbers, adding two numbers, adding one number like this. Let's keep the breakpoint and you will come to know that clearly what's going to happen here. Okay. So right click on test25.py and debug test25. Now you can see debug test25. Debugger window is starting now. Now function key plus F8 I have to hit this because to trace the program. Function key plus F8. Now we can see first time I'm calling add of 1020. Immediately it will go to where this 1020 values are stored into args collection. This args collection is what collection? Do you want to know that? Expand this arrow mark. So look at this tuple collection here. Tuple is having two elements, 10 20 values. Length of tuple is 2. 0 index 10 values there, 1 index 20 values there. So in interview they might ask what is the default collection of variable length arguments? Tuple collection you have to say. In this collection, look at this function key plus F8, S value 0 for I in args means for loop. I'm iterating the values one by one from args. Args is the tuple collection. I value 10, first iteration. S value 0. Look at this 0 equal to 0 plus I, 10 value. So 0 plus 10, 10 only. 10 will be assigned to yes. Next iteration for I in args 20. S value 10, I value 20. S plus I. How much it is? 30 only. 30 will be assigned to yes. There is no iterations because first time when we call 10 20 iterations are over. Print sum is 20 only. Next iteration 2 3 4 I am calling. Again this 2 3 4 will come and stored into args collection, that is tuple collection. Now you can see here function key plus F8 one by one. S value 0, I value 2, first value. 2 plus 0 2, S value 2. I value 3. 3 plus 2 5. S value 5. I value 4. 4 plus 5 9. 9 will be print. Like this it will be iterator one by one. Okay, hope you understand that. No need to tell you again and again. So this is what actually number of values we can supply to the function. This is not a fixed number of values. Variable length arguments means different length arguments we can able to supply to the function clearly. This is called star args. So here can't we simplify the values are here? You need to write this only completely. Yes, look at this. I'm commenting this one. So star args is there, no? Star arg. Do you want to sum of any number of values? Simple, sir. Sum is okay, comma sum function I'm using args. One line. Now test 25. Then you can try to run this. So Python makes very simplify the logic. So you need not to do this all one by one values. Total sum function also we can use. Same result or not? Same result. Just to understanding point of view, I set this loop and all. So instead of this one, everything, these lines. So directly we can apply a mathematical sum function. Sum function will take args. Every time it takes 2 arguments, 3 arguments, 4 arguments. Directly we are passing. One line is enough here. Okay, no need to do this one iterations. So sum function I'm using directly. So sum of n numbers like this. Got my point? Any number of values we can pass user choices. So this is star args, that is variable length arguments. And most of the articles you might be seen like what is star args and star kw args. As I said that just now, star args means variable length arguments. Okay, star args allows us to pass number of values to the function. Star args allows us to pass number of values to the function, including zero number. Even you can pass including zero number also, you can pass including zero number, zero number. In my program here, you can see if I pass zero number also, it will work. No arguments. It will work, sir, undoubtedly. No arguments. Sum is zero. Okay. Yes, including zero number. Star args allows us to pass number of values to the function, including zero number. So star args default collection is what type, sir? Tuple type, you have to say that. Okay. Yes. Next, what I'm trying to do, star kwr. So what is star kwr? Star kwr, one star indicates keyword, next star, second star indicates arguments. This is called keyword arguments. So star kwr allows us to pass number of keyword arguments. Number of keyword arguments means number of times each key and value we can supply. Star kwr allows us to pass number of keyword arguments. So star kwr's default collection is what you know. Star kwr's kwr's default collection is what? Dictionary, DICT. As one star key, another star argument like value. So dictionary collection only. See this how example, sometimes we can pass to a function number of keyword arguments. In that context, we can go for star kwr's. Let's create one new file, Python file, test26. Test26. Now here you can see f1 function. I'm taking star kwr's. But sir, name also not required, sir. Name, any name you can take. Star x, star n, like this only. I'm passing this. Now f1, a value 10, b 20, c 30. Now here a, b, c are keys only. 10, 20, 30 values. So keyword arguments are there. Now sometimes I can pass employee ID 123, employee name, employee address. We are passing keyword arguments, no? Employee address, employee age, like this. Now we are supplying number of keyword arguments. Here first time we are supplying how many number of keyword arguments? 3 keyword arguments, A10, B20, C30. Next time I am supplying 1, 2, 3, 4 keyword arguments. Key means EID, ENAME, EADDRESS, age. Value means 1, 2, 3, SAI, HYD, 46. When we call this, automatically it will store in what collection? Dictionary collection. In dictionary collection, we have to iterate one by one. How to print? For I, comma j or k, comma v we can take, because k for key, v for values I am taking. Loop variable names it is. Just you can take ij also. In where I am collecting KWRs. KWRs is what is what collection? Dictionary collection. In dictionary collection, what are their items? Items means what? Key and value pair. That items I am printing, sir, here. K for key, want to make some equal to symbol or colon symbol. K for values. That's all. Let's run this. Now you will get output. Now you can see output is A10, B20, C30. A, B, C are keys, 10, 23, 30 values. Text employee ID, employee name, employee address, employees, 123. How I am printing, just a moment. I'm going to keep the breakpoint and debug this. So debugger window started. Yes, now function key plus F8, sir. I'm trying to do. So we are supplying F1 of 8 and B20, C33 keyword arguments. Look at this, the keyword arguments all will be stored in which collection? Dictionary collection, expanded. DICT is there here, dictionary collection. And the moment when we hit this function key plus F8, Now you can see here k comma v in kwargs dot items. K value is a and v value is 10, and we are printing k equals to v, means k a equals to 10. Next iteration b20 c30, like this. Okay, now next EID, it's a collection only, again dictionary collection. It will store completely this dictionary keys and values. EID key 123 value, ename is key, size value, like this. Total length is 4 items. Items means each and every item. EID 123 one item. So that's what this KW args means, dictionary dot items. From these items we are one by one accepting key and value pair here. So this is about KW args. So the name KW args not compulsory, sir. Any name you can take. For example, here I'm taking star star n. I'm taking. It's possible. So n is a dictionary collection. Now let's run this. It will work fine, sir. No problem. Still it will work. Okay. So this is the difference between star args and star star KW args. Star args allows us to pass number of values to the function, whereas star star KW args allows us to pass number of keyword arguments to the function. And the default collection of star args is nothing but what? Tuple. And default collection of star star KW args is what? Actually dictionary only. So this is variable length arguments. Here KW args means what? Variable length keyword arguments we can pass. Star args means variable length arguments, means we can pass number of values, variable length values. Star star KW args means variable length keyword arguments, not only arguments, keyword arguments, key and values are there. So this is about 4 types of arguments: positional, keywords, default, variable length arguments. So that's all for today. In tomorrow's session we will continue from here only. Still we need to discuss some more things, but meanwhile you can just take an exercise program today. So just I'm giving, write a program to perform arithmetic operations arithmetic operations arithmetic operations like add, sub, multiply and division by accepting the values at runtime, and also accept the choice from the user. Okay, for example, here choice equals to 1 means we can go for addition. So you have to ask to the user, please enter the choice. Choice 1 means what? Actually addition. If user is entered number 2, that means second choice, we have to call subtraction, not addition. If user is entered choice 3, we have to call what? Actually multiplication. If user need to enter, for example, 4, we have to call division. Write a program to perform arithmetic operations like add, sub, multiply, division by accepting the values at runtime, and also accept the choice from the user. And choice is 1 entered by the user, addition you have to perform. Choice is 2 means subtraction. If user is entered some 9 number choice, invalid choice, you have to say that. This I am giving in the chat box. You can collect it, and tomorrow we'll discuss regarding this program. That's all for now from my side. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.